Hello and welcome back to CultureShoc's video series. My name is Pete and I'm here to help you charge into your storms so you can get to blue skies faster. Today we're talking about amping up your engagement level, especially when we're virtual. Now, when we talk about amp, not exactly talking about that, but it's somewhat similar. Regardless of your working situation right now, it is never too early or too late to amp your culture up. If you believe in our buffalo mentality of charging into storms, today's talking about tending to your herd. And when I say that, I'm talking about providing an environment of autonomy, mastery, and purpose, or AMP, to your team, regardless of whether you're working in an office, in a plant location, or all virtual. If you're wondering why does it matter to amp up our engagement, think about this. More engaged teams are more productive, you have higher morale within the team, there's going to be less questions, and there's going to be more clarity, as well as you're going to have a better chance of retaining the best people that you have. And by the way, if you feel like you've been failing to some extent in terms of engaging your people during the quarantine so far, think about this. The best time to plant a tree, as they say, was 20 years ago. The second best time to plant a tree is today. And the best place to plant a tree is on the border of your property between you and your neighbor, so you could finally get some privacy for once. Anyhow, let's get started. The first letter of AMP is autonomy. And autonomy to us is defined as giving people the opportunity to do their job well without looking over their shoulder. Now, we have no problem not looking over people's shoulder when we're all separated, but really it's a moving target because our quest is to find the right amount of autonomy. If you're a manager or leader right now, what is the right amount of autonomy that you're giving to your people? What's the right amount of freedom? For every team, it might be a little bit different, but have you asked your people, guys, am I communicating with you enough, not enough, or too much? You could take a poll over text, over email. You could do an anonymous poll. While we know autonomy is a moving target, the last thing I'll say is it may be helpful to ask your team for their to-do list. Like we've said before, people crave accountability. High performers especially crave that. So they want to show you their to-do list for the day or for the week. Whatever makes sense for you, start by saying, hey, can everybody give me what you're going to be doing this week? And then on Wednesday or one random time this week, I'm going to be reaching out to you individually to ask what your to-do list is and how it's coming along, what I can do to help. It may never be perfect, but if you ask your team and you genuinely care about providing them that right amount of autonomy, you're going to help elevate that engagement. As a bonus for autonomy, when's the last time you checked in on your boss? That might be something that's helpful. Bosses need engagement as well. You probably have people that you're responsible for right now. You may have people up the chain from you that need the same type of accountability you're providing to other people as well. Think about the bosses. Who is leading them in these times? It can be you, regardless of where you fall in the food chain. M and AMP is mastery. All right, mastery, when we think of this right now, we're thinking of what's right in front of you. How can you get better? Are there processes that you haven't documented yet that you can? That is a simple thing to require people on your team to do. Each person is going to take one process and document it each week. Next thing you know, you have all kinds of processes that are documented that you didn't have before. Also, whatever processes you have are probably available to be audited or tweaked. If you're looking for things to do or you want to delegate better, ask people on your team to take a look at what they're doing, their sales process, their operations process, how they're delivering it, how they're providing customer service or maintaining relationships. See if they can take a look at those and potentially tweak some of those processes or their approach to doing certain things within the business. Now's the time to take a hard look at those type of things, and that's an engaging proposition to give somebody on your team the responsibility to take a look at something and make it a little bit better. Continue to innovate. See if there's an easier way out there to do things. And even poll some of your clients or customers on, do you like this approach? What would take you from a 9 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10, so on and so forth. Number 2 on mastery are things that are adjacent to your current function right now. I'm talking about cross-training. I'm talking about learning more about different departments within your own organization. If you're a manager right now, now's a good time to get together with other people from the organization, talk about how they're doing things. Ask the question, how can I make your life easier? What can myself and my team do to make the other department's life easier? How do we make this entire ecosystem run a little bit more smooth? And then number 3 on mastery is, what is aspirational? What are things that you're not doing right now that you aspire to be doing? And what can you help your team to think about in the same context? What's a service line or product line you don't currently offer? What's a corner that you can potentially peek around to see what's coming? How can you pivot something within your organization? Maybe not a fundamental overhaul of what you're doing, but what's something that you could take a hard look at right now that you're not doing currently, but is something you aspire to? P in AMP is purpose, and purpose is what is going to keep people going despite anything that gets thrown in their face. When we talk about purpose, we're talking about short-term work, long-term work, and personal purpose. For short-term work, of course, your business has a purpose. You have to continue to make money. You have to continue to service customers and work on relationships. Check in with your team on a regular basis of, are you achieving the short-term purpose of the organization? Are you doing what you need to do today and this week for the team and yourself to be successful? When it comes to long-term purpose, you can start thinking at an individual level for each of your people. Really, what do they stand for? What does our team stand for? What do they really want to get out of the next week, the next month, the next quarter? And what can they control within that process? Those are critical conversations to be having with your team. If you haven't had that conversation with your team as a whole or with people individually, now might be the time to do that. Ask questions like, what is your favorite part of the job? What is something that really frustrates you? What do you stand for individually? How can you connect what you do on a regular basis to making a positive impact in the world? Connecting purpose with your actual work is incredibly engaging. That's the type of stuff that is going to make people want to stay up late, get up extra early, work extra long hours, or it's going to help people be way more efficient during the time that they do spend on work. The more we individually and as a team can operate within what we believe to be our own purpose and connect that with the work that we do, the more effective we're going to be overall. And people can see that when you're authentic. Clients, customers, partners, they can feel that as opposed to someone who's trying to fake it. And the third piece on purpose is personal. This is an awesome and a vulnerable conversation to have with your people. Finally having the conversation of what do you really want to get out of the next 1 year, 3 year, even 10 years of your professional and your personal life. If you can help your team on a personal level, help them develop as into well-rounded individuals, into well-rounded professionals, you're going to provide them an invaluable service and they're going to be extremely loyal to you and they're going to want to work extra hard for you because they know you're looking out for them. If I know my leader is genuinely invested in my success, that is an incredibly engaging thing. I'm going to want to step up and volunteer for responsibilities that I might not have otherwise. So the more we can help our people as professionals, but also as human beings, find their purpose, help them get to where they want to be in the short term and the long term, the more value we're adding to them, the more they're going to give to the organization in return. Regardless of how you think you've done so far in terms of engaging your people during the quarantine, it's time to amp it up. Take it from 7 to 10, from 9 to 10, from 99 to 100. Amp up the engagement of your team, and you're going to see the results come back to you tenfold. Thanks for watching. Let's do this.